Hi dear friends, in the previous session we discussed about sequencing of n jobs on two machines using Johnson's algorithm. In this session we are going to discuss about sequencing of n jobs on three machines. These are the learning objectives. After this session you should be able to sequence the n jobs on three machines, compute the total elapsed time and idle time of the machines. Coming to the outline of n jobs on three machines. In this type of sequencing, n jobs are to be processed on three different machines, say M1, M2 and M3. The processing time estimates of the jobs on the machines are known. It is required to find a sequence that minimizes the total elapsed time, that is the time to process all the jobs on the three machines. Johnson's algorithm, which is used for n jobs on two machines problem, can be extended to sequence n jobs on three machines problem. Already we have discussed about Johnson's algorithm for sequencing of n jobs on two machines. The same concept or the same algorithm can be extended to sequence n jobs on three machines. The n jobs three machines problem can be converted as the n jobs two machines problem using the following procedure or steps. Step 1 is find the least processing time and the first last machine and the maximum processing time of the second machine, that is in between machine. I mean, from the given data or from the given table, find the least processing time of first machine in the sense M1, last machine in the sense M3, because we're discussing n jobs three machines problem. We'll be having three machines M1, M2, M3. So you have to record or you have to note the least processing time on first machine, that is M1, and then last machine, that is M3, and the maximum processing time on second machine or in between machine, that is M2. That is step 1. In step 2, verify for the following conditions. The least processing time on first machine is greater than or equal to maximum processing time on machine 2. You check whether this condition is satisfied or not. Also, the second condition is the least processing time on last machine, that is M3, is greater than or equal to maximum processing time on machine 2, that is M2. Fine. You just verify these two conditions, then go to step 3. If one of the condition in step 2 is satisfied, then imagine two virtual machines G and H with the corresponding processing times as discussed below. So if one of the condition or sometimes both also may be satisfied, or if at least one is satisfied also, fine, then you're going to go to step 3. In other words, in step 3 you are going to convert n jobs three machines problem to n jobs two machines problem. Why you are converting n jobs three machines to n jobs two machines means to apply the Johnson's algorithm, because Johnson's algorithm is limited to use for n jobs two machines problem basically. So if you have three machines, you have to convert them as two machines by following these steps. So here processing time of G means, okay, it's a virtual machine G, H means virtual machine H again, T of G, T of H. So it is a general notation, okay. J stands for 1 to n number of jobs, okay. You will be having n number of jobs, no. So here what is the TGI means the processing time on machine G is the sum of the processing times on the machines M1 and M2. Summation of M1 and M2 will give you the processing time of G. Virtual machine G is nothing but M1 plus M2, and virtual machine H is nothing but M2 plus M3. Of course, we'll take this with a numerical. So processing time processing time estimate of G is M1 plus M2. Processing time estimate of H is M2 plus M3. So this is generic form, that's all. Okay, J stands for 1 to N. You will be having N number of jobs, no? Fine. Then once, if you convert N jobs 3 missions problem into N jobs 2 missions problem, so you can go to step 4, that is determining the optimal sequence using the Johnson's algorithm. Determine the optimal sequence of the jobs on the missions G and H by the Johnson's algorithm. Okay, please note that this concept of assuming G and H, that is virtual missions, is limited only to obtain the optimal sequence by using the Johnson's algorithm. Afterwards, once if you get the optimal sequence, to obtain the total elapsed time, no, so you are supposed to take all the 3 missions into consideration. In fact, you have the 3 missions in the picture, but for your convenience, so you have made them as 2 virtual missions. So steps in Johnson's algorithm, it is like a reiteration or recap. Already we have discussed in the previous session itself about sequencing of N jobs on 2 missions using Johnson's algorithm. List out the time estimates of the jobs on the 2 missions M1 and M2. First step is select the least processing time in the list. If the least processing time is an M1, place the job from left to right in the sequence. Whereas if the least processing time is an M2, place that job from right to left. In case of tie in the processing time, so we have discussed how to resolve it. Eliminate the jobs that are sequenced as a result of step 2. So the job whichever is sequenced, no, that you have to eliminate from the table, and you have to continue the procedure or repeat the procedure, so till all the jobs are sequenced. In a nutshell, or to summarize, if the minimum processing time is with reference to M1, move from left to right, I mean sequence from left to right, and if it is with reference to M2, move from or sequence from right to left to obtain the optimal sequence. So that's what, okay, it is shown here. So if the least processing time is on M1, you sequence that job on from left to right. Whereas if the least processing time corresponds to M2, no, you sequence that job from right to left. So now let us take a numerical on N jobs 3 missions problem. In a manufacturing process, 3 operations, turning, threading and knurling, have to be performed on the missions M1, M2 and M3 in the order M1, M2, M3. Obtain the optimal sequence if the processing time estimates of 4 jobs and the 3 missions are given. So there are 4 jobs and there are 3 missions. These are the processing time estimates in minutes, let us say. So now let us analyze the problem. We have N jobs and 3 missions. So to obtain the sequence, so you have to convert this problem to N jobs 2 missions type. Then only you can use the Johnson's algorithm. Fine. Let us discuss about that in the form of steps that we discussed just now. So the least processing time on M1, no, you record it, that is 2, and on M3 it is 12. If nothing is given, let us say they are in minutes. Fine. The maximum processing time of in between mission, that is M2, is 8. Least processing time of M1, least processing time of M3, and maximum processing time of in between mission. And step 2 is, if the least processing time of either M1 or M3 is greater than or equal to maximum processing time of M2, no, then we can say that the condition is satisfied, either of the condition. So either least processing time of M1 or least processing time of M3 should be greater than or equal to least processing time of, maximum processing time of M2. So in this case, what is happening? The least processing time of M3 is happening to be greater than or equal to maximum processing time of M2, that is 8 minutes, and hence the condition is satisfied, we can say. So once if the condition is satisfied, so to assume 2 virtual missions G and H, the processing times are like this. So G means, okay, like, so you have to take the this one original table, 3 plus 8, 12 plus 6, 5 plus 4, 2 plus 6. H means these two, like, so as we discussed in the procedure. Summation of M1 and M2 will give you the G. Summation of M2 and M3 will give you the processing time estimate of H. Fine. So the same thing is rewritten. So just taking the total or summation 11, 18, all this. Now you know how to sequence these jobs. I mean, you have 4 jobs on 2 missions, that is n jobs on 2 missions. So using the sequencing concept, that is Johnson's algorithm. Applying the Johnson's algorithm, minimum processing time is 8 in the entire table. That is corresponding to job 4, but on which mission? G. Okay. Is for job 4 and mission G, and hence sequence it first. That is first in the sense from left to right. Okay. J4 is sequenced. In fact, you have to cancel this, and from the remaining, so you have to see the least processing time, that is 9 minutes for job 3, no? On mission G again. So mission G is like now M1, this is like M2. So when the least processing time falls on M1, no, you have to sequence it from left to right. Hence J3 you have to sequence from left to right. Left to right in the sense already this is occupied. Next to this one means this place. Fine. J4 and J3. So now these two are cancelled. So the next least processing time is 11. So that corresponds to J1 again on mission 1. Again on mission 1 or mission G. Hence J1 you have to sequence it from left to right. Left to right in the sense after these two. Okay, you are moving from left to right. Fine. So the next least processing time, as I explained, discussed 11 minutes for job 1 on mission G, and hence sequence it from left to right. And of course the remaining job you have to sequence. Okay, here you are going to write J1, remaining job, okay, that is J2, you have to fill in the vacant space, so that you will get the updated or optimal sequence as like this. So J4, J3, J1 and J2. You please note that as per the problem concerned, you are supposed to determine only the optimal sequence here, obtain the optimal sequence. Okay, so no need to find out the total elapsed time or idle time estimates. So as per the question, so you are supposed to determine only the optimal sequence. So what you have done here, so let us glance quickly. So you have converted n jobs 3 missions to n jobs 2 missions problem first by using first 3 steps, what I can say. So then in the 4th step we have applied Johnson's algorithm and you have obtained the sequence, optimal sequence. Now let us take one more numerical. On n jobs 3 missions, 5 jobs pass through 3 missions X, Y and Z in the order X, Y, Z. Processing time estimates in minutes are given in the following table. So there are 5 jobs now, there are 3 missions X, Y, Z. The processing time estimates are given in the minutes. Obtain the best sequence that will minimize the total elapsed time. Obtain the best sequence. Also find the idle time of each mission. Total elapsed time, idle time. Okay. So what is extra here is, so the previous problem was restricted only to find the elapsed time, find the optimal sequence. Here, after obtaining the optimal sequence, you have to find the elapsed time and idle time estimates of the missions. Now let us come to the solution part. Step 1 again, from the given data, the least processing time is on what? X, that is 8 minutes. From the given data, the least processing time on X is 8 and on Z is 5. That you have to see here in the table. On X 8 least, on Z 5. And the maximum of in between mission you have to see 8. Fine. The maximum processing time of on Y in between mission is 8 minutes. So then step 2 is just verification. So if the least processing time of first mission or last mission, if it happens to be greater than or equal to the maximum processing time of in between mission, then you can say that the condition is satisfied. So let us see the least processing time of X, no? The least processing time on X, that is 8, is greater than or equal to maximum processing time on Y, that is 8 minutes, and hence it can be converted as n jobs 2 missions problem. Now let us assume G and H as the virtual missions. So then we get this one. So mission G and H. Okay, 11 plus 7, so same like in the previous problem. So 11 plus 7, 12 plus 8, 9 plus 6, 8 plus 5, 13 plus 6, and so on. Fine. So that table will get it. So now it is reduced to n jobs 2 missions problem, for which you can apply the Johnson's algorithm to obtain the optimal sequence. So same thing how rewritten, just having the total of these values. Fine. 18, 20, 15, 13, 19, and so on. 13, 19, 16, 10, and 12. Now let us sequence first, then we'll think of obtaining the elapsed time and all. Fine. Now same thing, okay, for convenience I have taken here. Applying the Johnson's algorithm, the minimum processing time is 10, that you can see here, 10 minutes. That is for job 4 on mission H. See here, G you can assume as M1 and M2. If the least processing time is an M1, no, you have to sequence that from left to right. If the least processing time is an M2, you have to sequence that from right to left, the same concept only. So as the least processing time is an H, which is like M2 now, you have to sequence that from right to left. By doing that, so J4 is sequenced. Now J4 in fact you have to cancel here. So after cancellation of J4, no, so let us see, the next minimum or least time is 12 minutes for job 5. 12 minutes for job 5, this one. So again that corresponds to mission H, and hence sequence it from right to left only, that is J4. Right to left means, okay, J4 already it's positioned or sequence, so J5 will come here. Now J4 and J5 have been cancelled, 3 jobs are there. So in that the least processing time, let us say, so the next minimum or least processing time is 13 minutes. 13 minutes for job 1. Again that corresponds to on mission H. So hence you have to sequence it from right to left. When it corresponds to H, that is M2, okay, you have to sequence it from right to left now. So same thing we are doing. Now these two are sequenced, then this one you are sequencing from right to left, J1. So now, so J4 is cancelled, J5 is cancelled, J1 is cancelled. Let us see the next minimum processing time, that is 15. That corresponds to this one now, 15, job 3, but it is on mission G. So when it is on mission G, no, G and H we are taking in the order M1, M2, you have to sequence the job from left to right. Hence sequence job 3 from left to right. So I mean you have sequenced already these 3. So now you have sequenced J3. Now whatever is left, no, the job whichever is left, so that you have to fill in the vacant space, that is J2 you have to write here, so that you will get the updated or the final sequence. Sequencing the left out job in the vacant position, the optimal sequence we get as J3, J2, J1, J5 and J4. So this is like part 1. I mean you have obtained the optimal sequence. Following this sequence, no, you can optimize the or you can minimize the total elapsed time and idle time of the machines. That's the meaning. Now coming to the next part, because in the question it is given to find out the total elapsed time and idle time of the machines. Okay, I have taken for my convenience the data. Already I have told that while calculating the total elapsed time, you have to bring all the machines into the pictures. That in fact you have 3 machines now actually. So just for your convenience, you have taken G and H as virtual machines in order to get the optimal sequence by Johnson's algorithm. But whereas while calculating elapsed time, so you have to take the original data only. Now what you have to do is the optimal sequence, whatever you have, job sequence. So J3, J2, J1, J5, J4. Just we have got it here, J3, J2, J1, J5, J4. That sequence you have to write. That's the procedure. Mission X, Y, Z. For every mission you have to write in time, out time, in, out. This one we'll discuss later, this portion, in, out. Like already we discussed this in NJobs 2 missions problem also. So J3, no, always okay, it will start with 0, 0th time it will enter. J3, you have to go to J3. So it will take only you concentrate on mission X, 9. So this will become in time again. So how we got this 21 means you have to switch over to this one, 2. So it is taking 12 minutes, no, 9 plus 12, okay, 21. This 21 will become here, 21 plus, okay, something, 32. What is that something? J1, no, 11. So like that, 32, 45, 45, 53. So you will get the data, I mean in time and out time of mission X. So in the same way, mission Y. Okay, now, so it is like no passing rule, no? I mean, unless the mission X gives the job to Y, it will be idle or it will be waiting. That's why in time for mission Y, no, will become 9. I mean, unless it gives out job 3, no, it will be waiting. That's why here it is not 0, it is 9. So as soon as it comes out from mission X, no, it will be loaded to mission Y. So 9. So how about the 6 to 15? 9, 15, no? J3 you have to see. J3 6 minutes, no? Y, processing time of Y, 6 minutes. So just you have to keep on adding like. Okay, now though it has completed the job by 15 minutes, so next job, no, that is J2, the mission X is not giving, I mean, before 21 minutes. Hence, whichever is higher, so you have to write that one. 15 if you write, what is happen? So it will become under process like. I mean, so without completion of this, it is taking the job, which is meaningless actually. Fine, practically I mean. So hence, after completion of this only, it has to take, no. So then this one have to write 21. This, okay, 29, how we got it means just by adding this number 8. And again, no, this has completed its job by 29 minutes, but job 1 is coming out from, what is that, mission X only after or after 32 minutes. Hence 32 is the this one. You can remember like this, whichever is higher, this 29 or 32, that you have to write here. But concept wise, that's the meaning. I mean, unless, so the mission X gives the job, so it has to wait, no. So like that, the waiting time will be recorded here later. Fine, 32. Then 39, it has completed its job by 39 minutes, but it is not giving till 45 minutes. So hence 45 only is the in time for this. Like in the first case, like, see, though it is all missions are ready, so unless the first job comes out from the mission X, no, it will be waiting like that. So though it has completed, okay, so this job, okay, is not coming to this mission. Hence, so the out time of this will become the in time of this. Out time of this will become the in time of this in most of the cases. Fine. So 51. Okay, this one is out time. Out time of this, no, will become in time of this. Fine. Same thing is for Z. Why? Okay, it is 15 here. See, job 3 will be processed for 9 minutes on X and 15 minutes on, I mean 6 minutes on Y. Put together on X and Y, it will be processed for 15 minutes. It will be processed for 15 minutes. So unless, okay, it gets the job from X and Y, it will be idle only. I mean, the idle time or in time for this is 15 like. Okay, 15. So then 25, how we got it? Job 3, no. Just to add this processing time, that's all. So the difference is the processing time. This to this is, okay, into out is the processing time. Into out is the processing time anywhere. Here you have to be careful. 25, 29. Why you are not writing 25? So it has completed its job by 25 minutes, but you are not getting the job 2 from mission X and Y put together before 29 minutes. Hence, so out time of this, no, will become the in time for this. Okay, though it has completed, it has to wait. Okay, again see 39. So here in this case, no, whichever is higher, as I said, so job 1 is ready to load on mission Z by 39 minutes, but it is taking more time here, job 2, 40. Then, okay, if you write 39 minutes, the mission is not free because it is engaged with job 2, no, it is engaged with job 2. Hence, though job 1 is ready to be loaded on Z, mission Z, so it has to wait for some time here, 1 minute or so, whatever it is. Okay, that's why. So here the in time may not be the out time for this. That's what I told. This one, whichever is higher, no, that one will be the in time for this. 40 and 39, whichever is higher, 40. Fine, because though here the job is ready, but mission is not ready. Fine, but here the mission was ready, but job was not ready. Either way, it is idle time only. You please note that here the mission was ready to take, but job was not ready. Here the job is ready by 39 minutes, but mission was not ready till 40 minutes. That's why we are rating the highest number, whichever is more. 46. Okay, into out is processing time as I have told. 46, 51, 51, 57, 58, 58, 63. So I've indicated with blue, no, that is the total elapsed time. I mean, it is the processing time of all the jobs on all the machines, what I can say. So all the jobs, I mean, at this point, all the jobs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 have been processed on all the 3 different machines. Now how to compute the idle time? Idle time, it's very simple. Idle time of X separately you can calculate. Idle time of Y and Z directly you can put in the table. See 9. Let us concentrate on Y. So first 9 minutes it will be waiting, no? 9. Then this gap only, that's all. 25 and so 25 to this one. So like that, okay, you have to Y you have to see, sorry. So this is 15 to 21, 6. First 9 minutes, then 29 to 32, 3. Then 39 to 45, 6. 51 to 53, 2 minutes. So if you add all this, no, you will get the idle time of Y. Then similarly Z, first, no, it will be 15 minutes it will be waiting until it gets the job from X and Y. This 4 is this one, this gap, Z, in, out to in. This is 0, see, there is no this one. Okay, this one is 5, fine. Then this one is 1 minute or so. So here the machine is not waiting. Of course, the job is waiting, that is different here. So what is the meaning of 0 means? So we are calculating the idle time of machine. Fine. Job might be waiting, that is different, but idle time of machine is 0. Fine. Now let us see this one. Total elapsed time is 63 minutes. Idle time on machine X. Okay. So what is the total elapsed time? 63. Out of that, machine X is engaged for 53 in this batch. Let us say it is one batch production or one batch of manufacturing at whatever it is. 63 minus 53, that is 10 minutes. So whereas coming to the other machines, no, Y, 9 plus, just to add all this idle times, no. So that will become the idle time of machine Y, and idle time of machine Z is 25 minutes. So of course you can minimize the idle time by the optimal sequence. You cannot make 0, but by following the effective sequencing, no, you can minimize the sequencing, our idle time as well as the total elapsed time. So just by using Johnson's algorithm, no, in 1 or 2 steps, no, we'll get the optimal sequence. Otherwise, you'll get n number of, you have to check so many alternatives which will give the minimum. You cannot go on checking all those, no. So hence by following this optimal, I mean this is the lowest elapsed time. I mean you cannot lower than this, or you cannot minimize than this. So as I told, you can minimize the elapsed time or idle time, okay, by following the optimal sequence. That's all about this session. Coming to the objectives, so I am sure that have discussed about the outcomes or objectives that were listed in the beginning. Very first thing is to discuss about what is this n jobs 3 missions problem. Now we are in a position to sequence the n jobs on 3 missions. I mean you have to convert that n jobs 3 missions to n jobs 2 missions. So then you can apply the Johnson's algorithm for sequencing. So just now have computed or calculated the total elapsed time and idle time of the machines. Friends, thank you very much for attending this session or for watching this session. Please take care and have a nice time. We'll meet in the next session. Thank you and all.